It's funny to look back, but my poor friends, anybody who knew me around that time, they would have either got a really angry and upset version of me or just a completely put on and fake happy face pretending that everything's good. One of the most helpful things to lift me out of that stage of just feeling completely broken to a point where I was strong enough to start taking action was the daily wellness recipe. Hi, I'm Beki Eakins, business mindset and lifestyle coach for occupational therapists. I focus on creating a freedom-based online business, helping OTs to package up their skills in unique and exciting offers that feel so good that they sell with ease in the online space. Since leaving the profession of OT, I have now worked with hundreds of clients online, helping them to create a life they feel inspired by. In this podcast, I will talk about the lifestyle goals, mindset, and strategy you need to create your own life of freedom. One of the biggest challenges when deciding I wanted to create a freedom style business was my mindset. I think this is the same for a lot of people. At the time, I was just so easily angered, frustrated, and mad with myself and mad with other people. I was just coming from a place of being completely broken. I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but crying multiple times per day, unable to ever say what you think because your ego is so absolutely fragile that even the slightest negative look from somebody would have had me quivering in a corner. I just felt like I'd lost all sense of personality. So it seemed like an impossible task. And I had dreams, but I can remember just not believing that I would ever reach them and not having that sense of self-worth that, I could do this and it was worth pursuing my dreams for. So they were just loose thoughts. And I remember at one stage we were mixing with some world schoolers because I home educate my children. So for those who don't know, world schoolers are people who just travel fairly constantly, roaming the world, and their children are very much educated by the world. Some do formal education, but a lot of them do an unschooling kind of casual approach where your children just learn from the rich tapestry of life. The whole world is like a classroom. I mean, it's incredible what you can pick up when you're actually traveling with children. So we were mixing with world schoolers, and at one stage we actually went for a month in Thailand when the children were very young, just to see what it was like to go backpacking with young children. It was a wonderful experience. The Thai people were so nice. In actual fact, I would go as far as saying it was easier backpacking with children than without, because every time we got on any public transport, they would just clear the decks and let us sit down because we had children. They'd give the kids sweets. They were just so nice, and we had a fantastic time. But we came back very inspired because we'd met all of these world schoolers, and obviously it was, how did you make it happen? And we met such inspiring people, and it really helped to expand our thinking. But it was straight after that when we had the heart attack in the family, and that obviously just knocked everything off kilter. I can remember scratching my head and just like brainstorming for hours and hours and hours of ways that I could make a business work. Basically, I think the moment that my partner had a heart attack was the moment when I thought, oh, I'm going to be the one that makes the money then, just in case. It's a survival thing, I think, that just kicked in. And I stepped up. I stepped up into a different level, but I didn't know how to make money in any other way apart from being employed as an occupational therapist. And I was mad. Like, I was really, really angry. Why could everyone else achieve this freedom and I couldn't? Like, I was so mad about it. I held on to all of this anger and stress. But if I look back, like, my focus was on the lack. all I could obsess about is what I didn't have, what I didn't, couldn't get. And I just obviously I kept attracting in more of the lack because of it. I was constantly seeking more and more evidence for why my life was worse than everybody else's. Oh, I loved playing the victim, and I squelched round in those muddy waters of victimhood for a long time. It's funny to look back, but my poor friends, anybody who knew me around that time, they would have either got a really angry and upset version of me, or just a completely put on and fake happy face, pretending that everything's good. But I don't think any of them were really good. And it just took me a long time to realize that to every positive, there's a negative. And, we've all got these opposing forces, really. I used to think that creating a life of freedom would just be all one way. Some had it good and we had it bad. But I realized that there's good and bad things happening all the time, basically. And if we're constantly trying to move away from bad things and moving towards pleasure, that it was keeping me moving all the time. So, like, chasing pleasure constantly, trying for something different, something new, and avoiding pain. And it was almost like I was in some kind of animal like state. And it just, while I was living like that, I was so easily triggered by things outside of my control. And I actually forgot to spend time just appreciating the now, because even during the bad, there's equal amounts of good if we look round for them. And in each given day, I can find evidence for both. So it's about finding the balance somewhere, which is normally somewhere in the middle. So when amazing things happen, we need to be aware that there's going to be some challenges around the corner. And when there are challenges, there'll be massive joy. But we can just learn to neutralize these charges over time, letting go of attachments and thoughts that are based on history. I recorded a mindset meditation, one that you can do overnight. Very powerful in terms of helping you create the confidence, the self-belief, and deal with any money mindset issues. I use these kind of overnight meditations all the time. I found them incredibly powerful. So I've created a very special one, and I'm giving it for free to all of my podcast listeners. You can download it on the show notes. So I know that now. So now when I'm receiving challenges, I do look for the lessons. I look for the opposite. I just look to get some balance within it. So I neutralize and balance my emotions more quickly. Developing a mindset of an entrepreneur, it's so important because we're always going to have peaks and troughs within the business. But we only really get one choice, and that choice is how we choose to react to it. So when we're managing our emotions, we can balance the whole experience. It means that we can free ourselves from shames or guilts, and we can operate from love and gratitude instead. So we're not projecting constant fears from the past onto events in the future. So when we do this, it actually gives us more power, and more power of our own life is a good thing. So to just remember that negative can't exist without positive, and vice versa. It's a bit like a magnet. It all helps to create growth and movement. But when we can manage this, when we can rise above it, it helps us become magnetic to people, because people are magnetized to you because you can hold them safe. You've done the inner work, you can neutralize the charges, and you can hold people in a safer place. So the journey to stabilize myself as an entrepreneur, it was a big battle, but it was worth doing. And I see a lot of new clients that come in and they'll have the big surges in excitement, and then we get a big drop when the first bad thing that happens. And the problem with this is there's too much in the drop and rise. And of course, there's no stability within the business because people come and go when they're subject to those big emotional changes. So the more we can kind of anchor in the middle and start to see the challenges exactly as they are, as another chance to learn and grow, because business isn't straightforward and it's not easy, but it can be fun when we change our mindset to it. So there's so many tools that I found helpful within the mindset journey, shadow work, breath work. There's so many that I'll talk about during the podcast, but one of the first and most basic tools, I think, is the one that probably needs saying right at the start of the podcast, is when people are just feeling at the broken stage, because we have to start somewhere. And one of the most helpful things to lift me out of that stage of just feeling completely broken to a point where I was strong enough to start taking action was the daily wellness recipe. This just allowed me to recognize that mental wellness is as important as cleaning my teeth. And that was a game changer when I realized that. I think I had because I consider myself a very, very happy person, but I had 3 major episodes of very low mood. And even though I thought I'd built myself up in between them, I still kept dropping down. So that was when I realized, okay, it takes a little bit more work. This is daily. So it was the moment when I realized that I had to do this work every single day. That was when things have started to stabilize. So the daily wellness recipe, I just basically compiled a basic list of all the ingredients I needed to have good mental health every single day. This was when I just realized that I needed to get out the house, for example, every single day, just to get some fresh air. One of my things is I have to move my body every single day. If I don't move my body, my mood very quickly drops. It doesn't really matter how I move it as long as I do something. I had to eat well and make effort to look after myself. I also needed silence, even if it was only for 3 minutes. I just knew that I needed that every single day. So I wrote down my daily recipe and made it look pretty, stuck it on my kitchen. And the important thing is I stuck to it. I might have had the odd day where I didn't, but I pretty much stuck to that and still do, to be honest. There's still what will go through my mind is, oh, should I just sit in the house and work all day? And then I remember, your mood's going to drop if you do that. So that was very helpful in just lifting the initial fog. And after that, I was able to start making much bigger progress and starting to do some of the more challenging and deeper work as well, just because I was coming from a higher place with a higher level of self-worth, feeling nourished and just cared for. I think it's so easy as a mum to completely lose yourself when you're an employee. And I was trying to build a business at the same time and just trying to look after children. And sometimes I think we just don't look after ourselves enough. That was the place I was coming from. But as soon as I started being selfish is what I thought I was being, I now realize it's not selfish, but I'm really putting myself first a lot more. It just had a knock-on effect because, of course, I was happier. I had more energy, and I'm sure I made a better mum because of it. So learning to master your mindset is really important in business, and it comes up with my clients a lot. I mean, I think when we want to create a life of freedom, it's a big change. It's ultimately, this is one of the biggest things you can do. You're setting out to go after whatever it is on your heart, and you're taking some big strides into the unknown. This can throw off the most confident of people. Learning to master your mindset is just such a powerful tool. I can't imagine anybody doing it and then regretting it. So if challenges come up, now what I look for is the contrast. So one of the things is, can I learn anything from this? And the other thing is just to think, is this here just to show me contrast, just to make me aware of what I really don't want, to make me more motivated for what I might want. So I look at the challenges in a different way. If you are an OT with 3 to 10 hours per week spare, then the OT Yourself to Freedom membership is best for you. It will teach you how to create a business, an online freedom style business, but in an affordable way. And this is best for those of you who haven't got the time to really go for it. If you have the time to go for it and you want to achieve bigger results in a short space of time, what you're looking for is the OT Freedom Collective. This is for OTs who've got 10 hours a week or more and you're just really keen to get big results. That's where you're going to be closely supported by our team for a 6-month period. It will be intensive. You'll learn everything you need to create this freedom style business. And the biggest word that people say about it is that it's life-changing.